In our world today, pretty much everything is connected, and that means crime has found a whole new playground. Just like any crime scene, it's full of clues, but today, those clues are digital. So let's dive into the really fascinating world of digital forensics. We're talking about the science of uncovering electronic secrets and, well, bringing digital bad guys to justice.
All right, so let's start with the digital crime scene. And look, to really get a handle on the solution, we've got to first understand just how huge the problem is. I mean, think about it. Every single computer, every network, every smartphone you see, it can become a crime scene. The digital world is just massive. And yeah, that means there are a ton of opportunities for people with bad intentions.
And the stakes? Oh, they couldn't be higher. You see this number? $5.2 million. That's the average ransom demand from a ransomware attack in 2024. I mean, wow. We're not just talking about some minor disruption here. This is a full-blown, multi-million-dollar criminal industry built on holding our data hostage. And the scary part? It's getting bigger every single year.
So, what are we actually talking about when we say cybercrime? Well, at its core, it's pretty much any criminal activity that uses a digital device or a network. And, this umbrella term covers a ton of stuff. We're talking everything from computer fraud and those annoying financial scams to identity theft and even cyber extortion. It's a really, really broad battlefield. Okay, so this is where we need to get rid of that old image of the lone hacker in a dark basement. It's just not like that anymore. Modern cybercrime is, for one, transnational. That means it can jump across international borders in the blink of an eye. It's also incredibly organized, often with these complex criminal pyramids. And here's the kicker. The computer network can be the tool they use, the target they hit, or even the whole environment where the crime takes place.
Okay, so if the crime scene is that complex, you're probably wondering, how on earth do you even start to investigate? Well, that's where the digital detectives come in. Let's pivot from the problem to the solution and talk about following the digital breadcrumbs.
I love this quote from NIST. That's the National Institute of Standards and Technology. It says, "The forensic process transforms media into evidence." And that just nails it, right? The whole point of digital forensics is to take all this raw, messy data from, say, a hard drive or a network log and turn it into something solid, something you can verify, something that will actually hold up in court. In a nutshell, evidence.
And you've got to understand, this isn't just some random, willy-nilly process. No way. It follows a super strict, standardized method to make sure the evidence is absolutely sound. It all boils down to 4 key steps: collection, examination, analysis, and finally, reporting. You can almost think of it like the scientific method, but for digital investigations.
So let's talk about that first step, collection. And let me tell you, this part is absolutely critical. You can't just, drag and drop files. No. Investigators have to make a perfect bit-for-bit clone of the original data. It's a process called forensic imaging. Then, to prove the copy is identical, they use something called a cryptographic hash. It's like a digital fingerprint. This makes sure the original evidence is never touched. One mistake here, and the whole case could fall apart.
So, what kind of data are they actually grabbing? Well, it basically falls into 2 big categories. First, you've got what we call volatile data. Think of this like writing on a whiteboard. It's stuff that's in your computer's RAM or your live network connections. It's super valuable, but it's also super fragile. The second you pull the plug, poof, it's gone. Then you have non-volatile data. This is the permanent marker stuff that stays on your hard drive or a USB stick. A good investigator knows they have to grab that volatile data first before it vanishes forever. Okay, so let's pop the hood and look at the investigator's toolkit, because this isn't a one-size-fits-all kind of job. Far from it. Investigators usually specialize in different areas, and each one has its own unique set of challenges and tools. So first up, we have computer forensics. This is kind of the classic, the OG of the field, right? It's all about pulling evidence from laptops, desktops, servers, you name it. We're talking about digging up everything from a user's deleted files to combing through massive corporate databases. It's really the foundation of everything else. Next, we've got mobile forensics. And just stop and think about your own smartphone for a second. It has your entire life on it, doesn't it? Messages, where you've been, photos, banking info, it's all there. This specialty is all about the huge challenge of pulling that data from thousands of different kinds of phones, each with its own OS and security measures. It's tough stuff. And rounding out our toolkit is network forensics. Now, this is all about analyzing data in motion. Instead of looking at a static hard drive,
These investigators are watching the traffic as it flies across a network. By doing this, they can literally reconstruct what happened, trace an intruder's digital footprints through a system, and figure out exactly what they took.
So, who actually needs these digital detectives? You might be thinking it's all about catching international super hackers, but the truth is the applications are way more diverse than that. This field touches pretty much every part of modern life.
I mean, yeah, of course, you've got law enforcement, the FBI, the Secret Service. They're all using it to chase down cybercriminals. But it doesn't stop there. You've got lawyers using it for what's called e-discovery in big corporate lawsuits. You've got intelligence agencies using it to protect national security. And you even have corporate investigators using it to look into things like internal fraud or somebody breaking company rules.
Okay, and this brings us to a really, really important final idea. Because when it comes to a digital fire, the best strategy isn't just knowing how to put it out. It's about being ready before the first spark even flies. And there's actually a name for this proactive mindset. It's called forensic readiness. All it means is creating an environment where, if something bad does happen, the organization is totally prepared to collect top-notch digital evidence and to do it fast. This minimizes the cost and, just as importantly, the chaos. So how do you get there? How do you become forensically ready? Well, that NIST guide gives us some really clear, practical steps. It starts with the basics, things like doing regular system backups. But it's also about enabling detailed audit logs on everything, so you have a record of who did what and when. And here's the really crucial part. You have to send those logs to a completely separate, secure server. Why? So an attacker can't cover their tracks by deleting the logs on their way out. Smart, right?
So there you have it. We've looked at the massive scale of cybercrime. We've walked through the careful steps of a digital investigation, and we've seen why being prepared is half the battle. It's so clear that our digital footprints matter more today than ever before. So I'll just leave you with this one question to think about. In a world where every single click leaves a trace, what story does your data tell?